Kuzampala, I'm Chonizok Selden, and today I'm pleased to have with me a remarkable woman who has recently stolen the heart of the nation. She is soon going to make history as the first Bhutanese woman to represent the country in the Miss Universe pageant. But she's already making history right now as the first openly gay woman to win the title of Miss Bhutan. I'm pleased to have Tashi Chodron, the winner of Miss Bhutan 2022. Welcome, and first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
This was a big win. But before we move on with the other questions that I have, I want to ask you, what was the first thing you did after you won the title?
So it's still a very blurry kind of moment for me because I remember crying on stage and then worrying about my whole eye makeup if it was smudged, because there was a lot of like cameramen who were taking like pictures, and I was, oh, okay, is my makeup fine? But I couldn't control my tears because I know how hard I worked to reach there, and to actually win it was a big shock to me. I was like, okay, it's fine if I don't win. So I was trying to mentally prepare myself. That's why I was tearing up. I was like, okay, I worked so hard for this. What if I don't win? So I was trying to hold back my tears when the three of us were standing like in the back. And then as soon as they called my name, I was like, oh my God, did this really happen? I'm still in a trance right now because it's very surreal. I've dreamt of competing in the Miss Bhutan pageant ever since it first started, which was in 2008. So I was like, okay, I want to join this pageant one day. I want to become Miss Bhutan one day. So that was my childhood dream. That's what I always thought, looking at all the beautiful women on television. I was, oh, she's so pretty. I'm gonna vote for her. I'm gonna vote for her. I would ask my parents, can I please vote for her? She's my favorite contestant. So now, competing as a contestant and then actually winning it is like a dream come true for me.
So you got off the stage, cameras went off.
I still cried.
You cried?
I still cried. And then I remember I had two mentors, and then both of them, they're huge, masculine guys, okay? And then they were coming backstage, and we cried for you. I'm like, okay, the two of you cried. Oh my God, that's like a huge theme for me because I've been working with them for quite a while now, and then to have that kind of reaction from them, and then having them compliment me and say, okay, you worked hard for this, and then you finally your hard work is being paid off. So how do you feel? I was like, oh, I feel so good. I'm an ugly crier. So I was trying to cry in a very pretty way, like all the pageant winners. They're like, oh my God! But then I was there like,
No, but let me reassure you that you actually did cry beautifully. It was a beautiful moment. The last few, I think a minute or two you had to yourself with the crown. You are the new obsession of the country. Everybody is Googling, everybody's looking for you on Instagram. But there is a mystery, especially because with your name, there's Tashi Chodron and then there's Tashi Chombal Dorji. So there's a mystery that comes with the new Miss Bhutan. So let's start with the origin, because people want to know who you are, who Tashi Chodron is actually. So please go ahead with a little introduction, especially with your background.
I was born to a Bhutanese mother, and my father was Tibetan. And then I've recently had an interview based on the whole origin as well. So I grew up till the age of 3 in Nagaland, which is in Dimapur. And I remember, I don't have a lot of memories about my childhood. But my father and then my mother, they met when she was on a trip here to Thimphu. And then my father used to travel for business and trade. So that's how they met, and then he stayed here for a year. And then they moved back to Nagaland, and that is when I was conceived. So yeah, it was a very, I want to say it was tragic, but then it was a huge turn in my life, It was a huge turnover because my father died when I was 4. And then that's how me and my mom returned back to Bhutan. And then my mother ended up passing when I was 14. So yeah, it was a huge, it made a huge impact in my life, where I was going through a lot of emotion. I was going through a lot of issues, how growing up as a teenager, but then it was a blessing that I have a very wonderful stepfather, and that's how the whole Tashi Chombal Dorji comes. A lot of people ask me, okay, your real name is Tashi Chombal, right? I'm like, no, my real name is Tashi Chodron, But then on social media, it's Tashi Chombal Dorji because that's my way of honoring and then respecting the two father figures I have in my life. Chombal was my biological father's name, and then Dorji comes from my stepfather's surname. So it was a way for me to, respect, and then, yeah, so that's how the whole Tashi Chombal Dorji came to me.
You seem to have lost your parents at two critical times. One when you were 4, and 4 is too young for a child to lose one of the parents more. And then you lost it as soon as you became a teenager. You lost your mom then more. How do you think that has made or affected the kind of person that you are? How has that formed the Tashi Chodan that we have right now?
I think it was very traumatic, but at the same time it has made me stronger because I'm the oldest in my family, like amongst my siblings, and then so my mother always tells me, okay, if I do pass on one day, you know the responsibilities and the duty that will come over your shoulder. So I've always thought about that, and I've lost track in the middle where I wasn't really myself. I wasn't really behaving like myself. I started becoming a very problem child. But then that's when my mother's the things that she told me brought me back on track. I was like, okay, no, I can't act like this right now because I'm the oldest. I need to set an example to my siblings, and then if I end up going down the wrong path, they look up to me, right? So I don't want to be that kind of example for them. So I was like, okay, picking up all the shattered pieces. I was like, it's fine, I can cry about it later. But then right now I have to be headstrong. I need to be mentally, physically, and then spiritually strong for my siblings. So yeah, my mother's words did keep me on track.
I see. Wow. And I'm sorry, I mean, we started off on such a, I didn't want to bring you down, but I mean, let's get back on track and celebrate your success. How has the journey been?
It has been amazing because, but at the same time, it's a lot of responsibilities to be carrying because I'm not only representing myself, I'm representing all the women. When I go for the Miss Universe pageant, I'll be representing all the women in Bhutan. I'll be representing Bhutan as a country, but then mostly for me, I'll be representing the 23 contestants and their dreams. I'll be carrying on their motivation, their hope, because all of us in this short journey, we have become really good friends, as I call them, my pageant sisters. So yeah, I'll do my best to represent and then take their beliefs and their motivation and their hopes along with me. So it has been a very amazing journey. It's very overwhelming at the same time, but it's been, I don't know how to put it into words because it's a roller coaster of emotions right now. It's I can't find the right word for it.
It's all right. Sometimes it's things it's surreal.
It's very surreal.
And you find there are very few words that can express how you feel. Tashi, tell me, you said you got along with the other contestants. What do you think you separated you from the others that made you win the title?
I think all of us, the girls were wonderful. So all of them were worthy opponents. And then I'm very competitive by nature, but at the same time, I like to make new friends. So the competition was at the back of my head. I was like, okay, I'm in a competition. I want to win. But at the same time, I've made really good friends that will last lifelong. And then we bonded over such a short period of time. We go for sleepovers, we hang out together. But at the same time, I think what really set me apart was the fact that I saw this title not just for the title and not just for the crown. I saw it as a responsibility because all of us came there with a motive to win, but at the same time, all of us had the same purpose. We wanted to make a difference in the society, and we wanted to voice our opinions because I've never been afraid of having an opinion and voicing it out. So yeah, I think that's what really set me apart, the fact that I saw it not just for the crown or just for the title of Miss Bhutan. I saw it as an opportunity for my community as well, for the rainbow community as well, and then I saw it more as a responsibility.
You mentioned the rainbow community. And earlier in the introduction, I mentioned it too, that you're the first openly gay woman to win the title. How has that added extra responsibility towards your winning the title?
So yeah, like I said, it's not only about the whole glamour part of it, the whole title. It's very unusual for a gay woman to be considered a beauty queen like right now. But then I had immense support from my community. They were like, okay, it's Pride Month, and then one of our member got, like she's in Miss Bhutan, in the Miss Bhutan pageant, which is a prestigious pageant in the country right now. So they were like, okay, it's Pride Month, and then like it must have been, like it must have been fate that it was postponed till for the Pride Month period, no? So they were like, okay, you need to win it. You need to win it for the community, because you can advocate on our behalf. Because I've always had that platform given to me where I can voice my opinions, and then people would actually listen to me. So now with the whole Miss Bhutan pageant and the whole platform that I'm given, it's like a win-win for me and for my community as well, because they're like, okay, a gay woman in the history of like the Miss Bhutan pageant, you have done it, you have won it. Now you can advocate on our behalf. You have a platform. So that's how I ended up meeting a lot of LGBT based people. I meet with them, I talk to them, I indulge in conversation, in activities with them, so that I can know what their expectations are from the general public, and then I voice on their opinions like on my social media platform. Like, okay, if this is done, that would be so much better. And that's how I ended up for the UN Bhutan's session as well last time. It was on the whole pride, gender issues, gender equality. So yeah, it's been a huge step, because before it was like a smaller platform, and then on that I couldn't do much. But now with the whole Miss Bhutan platform that's given to me, I can do so much more for the community, because we can only flourish if the community accepts us, because there's a lot of potential in the LGBT community, but they're not given the same opportunity as like us in general. So like acceptance is the first step towards flourishing as a community and like as a whole in the nation. So yeah, it's a huge responsibility from the community as well.
Very true. I was just going to say, big responsibility for you. And you're so young right now, but it's really good to see that someone as young as you feel passionately about something as a social issue like that, and a very important social issue. So good luck. And you seem to be headed in a direction where you are going to use your social media to advocate your beliefs and passion more. So you will be actively on Instagram. Is this how you're gonna, I mean, in addition to the platform, the Miss Bhutan platform, and soon the Miss Universe platform, you will be advocating a lot of your passions and the topics that you genuinely, truly feel for. But there's the Instagram too that you will, do you continue to use the social media to do that?
I think a lot, since our generation is so like into the whole social media thing, that's how I can reach out to a more larger audience. But then with that also, like I want, because it's Pride Month, I want to focus mainly on Pride issues, LGBT issues, because what better time to do all of this than Pride Month itself. So like I'm trying to indulge myself, like I said, in a lot of LGBT activities, and then sessions, talks, and if they have any, I'm trying to reach out to a lot of organizations that are connected to LGBT, like Pride Bhutan, there's Humans of Thimphu. There's a lot of organizations that's still not in touch with the whole LGBT community. So I want to make it a point that I, like act as that bridge between the two organizations.
Talking about the pageant, it took so long. It got extended, especially due to the pandemic. What was some of the, or maybe there's not a lot, but what were some challenges that you faced during the whole phase?
I think the competition in itself was very overwhelming for me, and then I have really high expectations from myself, and sometimes it's very hard to live up to my own expectations. So yeah, self-doubt was one of the challenges I had to face, because I know all of these women are very strong, very empowered. They have a social issue in mind that they really are passionate about. So yeah, living up to my own expectations was one of them. And secondly, it was the whole journey that took so long, because it was supposed to be over in a month or two. But then when it kept on extending, the pressure and the anxiety kicks in. You're like, okay, like it's supposed to happen today, it's not happening, so like what's going to happen next? So yeah, I had a lot of breakdowns. I was having anxiety attacks, I was having panic attacks. And then backstage it was so chaotic. I was like, okay, like when are we going to be done with it? And as soon as we were done with it, I was like, okay, it's finally over, I want to do it all over again. So yeah, it was like, I don't know, it was very it was messing up, like my whole thought process. My mind was messed up, but then it was all very worth it at the end.
Talking about challenges, in the finale, you almost had an incident where you tripped. I want to know, because people got curious and people always want to know what is happening behind the cameras. What were you thinking? You managed to compose yourself and like just continue with your walk, but I want to know what was going in your head.
I feel like I was able to keep my composure because of the whole modeling experience that I've had. I've tripped a lot of times, and then you have to know that you're under the spotlight every like each minute, and then if you make a very bad expression, even if you're like, oh my god, then it's clicked, and it's gonna be there on social media like forever. So like I've made that lesson to not show how I feel, not let my expressions and my emotions get the best of me, because you never know what kind of shot they'll click. You have to be very careful. So yeah, I think at first I thought I tripped on my gown, because the tail was really long, but then my friends made a video of it when I was tripping, so I was like zooming in. I was like, okay, where did I go wrong? So the mistake was I miscalculated my steps, because there were like steps there, and then I had a really high like stiletto hill like going on, and then I think the back of the hill was caught onto the mat of the steps, and that's how I tripped.
Oh wow.
But then as soon as I tripped, I heard everyone in the audience going, yes, so I was like, no, it's fine, I'm fine.
I know, we saw you reassure you. I was watching it on TV and I was like, no, we need to reassure you. I saw you doing this. Yeah. Okay, so did you have to practice falling down? Did the girls have to practice falling down? Because you said it happens quite often.
No, I think it's in this, in the moment that it happened, because when we are practicing for the whole runway kind of thing, we don't know if we're gonna trip, because and that's the funny thing, when we are into our rehearsals we don't trip. We do it perfectly fine. We're like professionals out there. As soon as it's the finale or the night of the show, then something goes wrong. You either have a pimple popping up, your gown either like you have a wardrobe malfunction, or you trip. Yeah. So yeah, we don't have to practice it, but then you have to know how to compose yourself when it happens.
Yeah. So did you earlier mentioned that you were shocked and you cannot believe that you've won the title of Miss Bhutan. But did you think you would win?
I wouldn't say that I actually thought I would win, but because all the competitions I had, they were very worthy of the title. All of them are very unique, very strong in their own ways. I had quite a few contestants in mind that were strong competitions for me, and then I was like, okay, this girl, she can make it. She has really strong, she has a motivation to win, and then she's very headstrong about it. She's headstrong in the game. So yeah, I didn't think I would win, but at the same time, anyone would want to win when they're going for a competition. And I had the same thought. I was like, okay, I need to win it. I want to win, and I am going to win. But at the same time, you know, when you see these other beautiful women who are very strong, you feel intimidated in a way. You're like, okay, she's really strong. She's a strong competitor. And then what if I don't win? What if she wins? I would be equally happy, but at the same time, I would be sad for myself. So I didn't think I would actually win. I was like, okay, I'll be good enough if I at least reach up to till like top 10. But then I didn't think I would win.
Which is why the shock.
Yeah.
So you said you started modeling. In one of your interviews I read, you started modeling at the age of 15, Memo, and now you're 24. 23. It's been a long journey of modeling, and you have also participated in Miss Asia. You were in the top 15, right? And then there's Miss Indo-Bhutan, and you won the title, right?
That was my first pageant. Yeah.
I see. So with all this exposure, did you think it helped you with the Miss Bhutan pageant?
I think in a way it did. I've had a lot of people say I have an advantage over the other girls because of the whole experience I've had. But in a way it's true, but in a way it's not. Because international pageants and national pageants, they're like two different things. When it comes to international pageants, they expect you to already be groomed and then polished and then, you know, be good at walking, speaking, taking photos. But then when it comes to national pageants, I was really surprised to know that as well. They groom you a lot. They teach you how to talk. They teach you how to present yourself. They teach you how to, you know, be elegant, have that poise. But you're not taught that in a international pageant. They're like, okay, they already know everything, because people who go for international pageants, they have already won something in their own country, and then that's how they land up in an international pageant. And then there you're only like, okay, you're gonna go here, you're gonna take some photos, we're gonna do some ramp sessions, and that's all. We don't have the whole, you know, face-to-face kind of sessions with the speakers. So I do feel like I had an advantage only when it comes to the whole ramp, the photo shoots, and then the whole face-to-face kind of with the judge. So I think that was the only advantage I had. But then I feel like anyone can do that if they, you know, practice it, because it's very normal. Like, you talk to people on a daily basis, and then that's how, you know, your communication skills are like, yeah. So I don't really think I had a huge advantage. It was okay, if the experience is what counts, then yeah, maybe that's the only thing.
I see. There's a lot of exposure too, and there's a lot of learning you did more through that experience. So how has life changed then, now that you've won the crown?
I feel like life is quite the same, except for the busy schedule now, because I'm not really a morning person. I like to eat a lot. I'm a foodie, and I'm not really a morning person. I hate working out. So now, like, I have to work on all of that. I have to eat properly. I have to be fit. I have to, you know, wake up early, have that very healthy, you know, mindful kind of routine going on now. So yeah, except for the busy schedule, I don't think anything has changed.
There's a lot of interviews, I'm guessing, though?
Interviews, it has been going on. I could barely manage my time, but it's a good way to keep myself very much, you know, motivated, very much occupied with my time.
There's extra responsibility on your shoulders now to represent young women, and I can see that you are trying to you're trying to live up to that standard of trying to eat healthy, have healthy practices. So good luck with that. That's going to be a lot on you, because you haven't done this before with your more. So Tashi, I wanted to ask you, there are a lot of skeptical people who don't take beauty pageants seriously. They think it's vain and superficial. What do you have to say to those people?
I think every one of us is entitled to their own opinions. So I can't really say anything that will convince them that it's otherwise. But then what they don't know is it's women stepping out of their comfort zone, because in this kind of pageants, it's not only the exterior that matters, because I went into my first pageant with the same thought. I was like, okay, why would I even consider joining a beauty pageant, because I'm a person who's so much into self-love. And then I thought, okay, like this kind of pageants, they'll only judge you on how you look, how tall you are, how pretty you are. But then when I first went for my the first pageant, I was like, oh, okay, there's so much more to it. It's like a union of strong, empowered, successful women who all come together, and then together in union, and then spread the same message of, women empowerment, about social issues that really matters. And then in that way, we also spread the message of oneness, where all of us come from different diverse backgrounds, and then we come in together because we believe in a purpose in life. And then we want to fulfill that purpose through our pageantry, through we represent the country, and then being from different backgrounds, from diverse cultures, tradition, we learn the importance of having that oneness in a community, because all of these girls are very successful in their own lives, and then they believe in themselves and in their purpose of life, so that they can make a difference in the society, and as a whole they can make a difference in the nation. So yeah, it is very contradicting from what I actually read about pageants.
And you can see, actually, especially with the, in the country, when we saw the preliminary and the final round, there was more. There was the questions, and these you could actually see how the women are really capable of thinking for themselves, and the independence in thinking and the thought process. Talking about questions and answering and having more to the pageant than just the exterior looks. The answer to the question that they asked in the final round, which was, what, according to you, defines modern women? I loved that answer. I want to know how you came about with the answer.
Like in every Q&A, you go blank for a while because you don't know what to say, and then it's the questions are very unexpected, and you want to do justice to the questions. But then the whole thought process that went into it was, I think that I am a modern woman. So in a way, I feel like I defined myself in my answer. I was like, okay, a modern woman in this generation is a strong, independent, empowered woman who wants to be treated more than just being a mere gender, who has an opinion and is not afraid to voice it. So in a way, I think I defined myself as the answer to a modern woman. So that's how the whole answer came up.
Wow, and I was thinking, while listening to your answer, you did justice to your representation of the minority community, of the LGBTQI community. So this is brilliant, and I'm loving the answers that you're giving, especially in the last two questions, by the way. So let's talk about the next step, though, which is the Miss Universe pageant, which is tentatively happening in September this year, right?
It's not confirmed.
Okay. How are you preparing for the Miss Universe pageant?
For now, for the month of June, we don't have any preparations going on. But then the organizer and we are talking about the whole grooming session that goes into it, because we only have like around 2 months for it now. So we need to prep ourselves, because this is our first time in a pageant like that. And then we want to make sure that we, make Bhutan known as a country. Okay, we are a small country, but then here we are strong, we are like powerful, and then you want the best representation of Bhutan on a pageant, on a platform like that.
Yeah, and it is a big deal for you. This is your first time representing the country at such a platform. It's a big platform, but it's also big. It's a big deal for the country too. This is Bhutan's first participation. So how do you think you're going to leave a Bhutanese mark at that pageant?
By giving my best performance, because a pageant like Miss Universe expects perfection on every front. So I would like to work towards that. And then I'll make it a point that Bhutan stands out from the very genuine presence of me. And I don't know about what the outcome will be, but then I never leave anything unattended. So I'll make it a point that I give the very best version of my performance. And I want to show the universe the world in general, the very pure and authentic Bhutan.
I see. Wow. Okay, so we have come to the end of the interview, but I want to ask you one last question. There are so many young eyes on you, and there are so many people who are inspired by you. So what advice would you have to a young girl who's inspiring to be the next Tashi Chodron?
Don't be the next student. Be you. Be originally you. Be unapologetically you. Be authentic. Be true to yourself and have that self-love for yourself, because I had really less self-love for myself when I first started on this whole journey. And then now, as I develop more self-love towards myself, I can see the difference it has made in my life and the kind of impact it has made on me. Because you are the only person who can lift yourself up. No one will do that for you. No one will be like, oh, you'll do this, you'll do so good in life. You have to be like, I'll do good in life. I'll make a better person out of myself, because everyone has their own downfalls. I've had a lot of what ifs in my life. Okay, what if I did this? What if I did that? Where will it lead me? But in a way that has shaped me and made me the person I am today. I've always taken risks in my life where I don't know what the outcome will be. I was like, okay, what if I take this opportunity, but then what if it, drags down all the, lines of image, all the career choices I've had. What if it all drags down to nothing? But then at the same time, I've always had that very positive outlook in life where I'm like, okay, but then what if it takes me to a bigger platform? So always make it a point that take that risk in your life, Take that risk in your life, grab every opportunity you can, and then just have, like I said, just have that self-love towards yourself. There's no, there's no issues in you waking up every morning and going up to the mirror and being like, damn girl, you look fine today, you look fire. Have that, It's fine to be selfish sometimes. I'm a very selfish person in that way. I like to put myself first over anyone or anything, because I am the person who go to bed like I'm only going to be with myself for the rest of my life. People come and go. You never know who's there for you, like genuinely, who's not there for you. But then just make it a point that you make your presence known wherever you go, because that presence you have amongst, when you're mingling with people really matters. You never know what kind of connections you will make. You never know what kind of opportunities you are given. Have that social presence as well. But moreover, don't let anyone or anything drag you down, because that's when a lot of, mental health issues come in, and then you can't talk about it. Have that one person, that one genuine person you can talk about anything with. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's only gonna be you who will stick up for yourself. So, have that voice, come out, speak for yourself, be true to yourself, don't be afraid of having an opinion and voicing it out.
There you have it, the strong, beautiful and powerful Tashi Chodron, who is the Miss Bhutan 2022, who will represent the country in the Miss Universe pageant this year. Congratulations once again. And for the viewers, thank you for watching. We hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.
The new Miss Bhutan Universe 2022